Well, hello guys. This is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. And I am very excited to be doing another friend mail unboxing. And it's so much fun doing these. And I'm so thankful for everyone that sent me something. And I always say you never have to mail me anything, but I really do enjoy getting these. And it's so much fun reading your messages and seeing your notes and all the thoughtful things that you guys do when you send me friend mail. So I'm just so grateful for that. Couple of people to say hello to in the chat. And again, I'm sorry I'm a few minutes behind. And we had some Louis technical difficulties, but Louis is just fine. Peterson is joining us. Welcome, Peterson. Thank you so much for being here. Deb Sherman is here. Welcome, Deb. Happy Friday to you. Sharon Delaney is tuning in. Thank you so much, Sharon. Who else is in the chat here? I see a lot of hellos to each other, which I always love to see. That's a lot of fun. Let's see. Melinda Lavish Mango is tuning in. Hello, Melinda. Thank you so much. And I see Carrie is tuning in. Welcome, Carrie. Thank you so much. Now, Carrie says that it's been cooler in the evenings in Texas there, and I'm pretty jealous of that because it's been pretty warm here in Florida. Hello, Tia Fane. Welcome, Tim. Thanks so much for coming in. Let's see. Lots of hellos. I always love when everyone says hello to each other. We've got Katie Berkeley girl. She's in San Diego, and it's storming. Oh, no. Who else is tuning in? I see lots of folks. Barbie is here. Welcome, Barbie. Punk, Funk, and Junk. I'm so glad you're joining us. Barbie, I think I missed your sale with Daniel, and if I did, I'm so sorry. I'm bummed. You know, that Sunday morning time is hard to make sometimes. Welcome, Angelic Vintage Treasures. Debbie Vitale, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. We're really glad to see you in the chat. Daniel is here, my fellow brooch lover. Daniel, tacky as me. So welcome, Daniel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yes, we are. We're a very friendly bunch. That's easy to jump into any chat and find a lot of community and friendliness, and it's just fantastic. Mary R. is here. Welcome, Mary. Thanks so much for joining. Karen Dondelinger is in the chat. Welcome, Karen. I'm so glad you are tuning in tonight. And speaking of, we have some really fun friend mail. And the first friend mail that I want to share is from Karen. So this is a wonderful friend mail I've had sitting on my counter. And every day that I've seen it, it just makes me smile. And I can't wait to wear some of these. So Karen writes, Katie, I love to watch your videos and see what new hat you are going to sport. I have an online vintage shop selling accessories and a booth in an antique store, and I have items I don't want to ship. I've had a few hats, but they also haven't sold. So I hope you like these hats and will enjoy wearing them. However, as a fellow reseller, I have no issues with you selling these in your own shop. Enjoy, Karen. Karen, thank you so much for this lovely little note. This is just wonderful. And she sent me to the coolest hats. Hey, Delbert, thanks so much for tuning in. What's Daniel saying? Oh, it's hard for him to make the early morning sales. Well, Daniel, it is hard for a lot of people, but we love your channel and love your videos. So I always catch things on the replay. So this is what Karen said. Karen sent me. Now, these are amazing. So I'm going to take off my hat. You're going to see some of my funky hat hair here, folks, so I can actually properly model these for you. Now, this is pretty amazing. This first one is Lancaster, which is a fun company. And this is Somi San Francisco hats, and they're fully wool. So they're a solid wool hat. This one has a really fun tassel on it. And look at this, guys. How fun is this hat? And this is really a great hat. Now, I just love this. This color is so nice because it goes with everything. Oop, and StreamYard's backwards. But look at this tassel. I mean, how fun is that? And you've got this kind of French army, I don't know, navy maybe, a little patch here. It's just so fun. And this is just really a great hat. These remind me so much of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I'm here for it. I love it. This is just fantastic, Karen. And the second one is by a company called Importina. Now, I'm not familiar with them. Lancaster I am. This is 100% wool. So both of these are wool hats, which is just really, really nice. I love wool hats when I can get them because they're just great quality. This felted wool is so nice. And then it has this really fun bow. And look at this. Now, you could wear the bow in the front, but what I think is really fun is if you wear it a little bit off to the side, or you could wear it at a jaunt like that. Now, that is so fun. So, Karen, I love these hats. They are going to be part of my hat wearing repertoire. I'll be rotating these hats out. I have to have the perfect outfit for these, but I'm very excited to have two new really fun hats. Great neutral colors. Yes. So very fun, very marvelous, Mrs. Maisel. Yes, a jaunty jaunt, as Daniel says. And they are, Amy. They're so elegant. I mean, these are just really stunning. So very fun. Thank you so much, Karen. These are just wonderful. I love your note. I save all the notes you guys send me. So yay. I love these hats. Thank you so much. Oh, you're hiding from your cats. What did Uchi do this time, Carrie? That's what I want to know. Yes, they're beautiful. They really are, Karen. So thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to put this hat back on for the time being. Hey, Nate, thank you so much for joining. Bron sends her love. Oh, good. Oh, man, I just love Bron. Bron is so sweet. Bron is Nate's mom, if you're not familiar with that. And Bron was featured in some of Nate's videos that he did, unboxing a big box of friend mail I sent to him. And Bron's voice is just so delightful. So we love our Nate. And Nate will be part of a new show that we are doing this coming Sunday, Tales from the Triptych. So if you missed the first couple that we have done, the next one will be on Patrick's channel this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it is just going to be really fantastic on rookwood pottery, which is very scarce nowadays. So tune in for that, Tales from the Triptych. Patrick will be telling his tale, and Nate and I will be along for the ride, and it will be lots of fun. So tune into that, Patrick's channel, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, 8 p.m. Eastern this Sunday. And welcome, Melinda. Thanks so much for joining. I'm so glad you're here. And yay for the friend mail. Thank you so much, Kitschy Cat, for tuning in. Kitschy Cat just had her first sale, and she did a wonderful job. And I was so honored to be there. So thank you, Kitschy Cat, for tuning in. And if you're not subscribed to Kitschy Cat or Soulmate or anybody in the chat, go subscribe to each other. Help each other out. That's a big thing. And Peterson, thank you so much. Peterson's always on the ball. She put Tales from the Triptych, 8 p.m. Oh, and I see Stephanie is here, Thrifting Adventures. Welcome, Stephanie. Thanks so much for joining. And Sammy's Unique Finds, I think, is here, but I missed you in the chat, so I'm so sorry. Yeah, those hats are stunning, so thank you so much, Karen. There's Sammy's Unique Finds. I see Sammy in the chat. Welcome, welcome, Sammy. We're so glad you're here. Okay, so I've got some other friend mail here. Now, this came in from Tina at A Vision of Vintage Co. And I have to say, this is one of the most beautiful wax seals I have ever received. Now, I have my own vintage and vinyl wax seals, but look at Tina's. That is just gorgeous. Look at this envelope, you guys, and it's very thick. So, Tina, this is amazing. And I love, love, love that wax seal with your little logo. I mean, this is just so beautiful. It's like getting a formal invitation. So I don't want to mess up the seal. So I'm actually going to use this to cut open the envelope. And, you know, I've had people tell me in the past that they don't want to mess up my wax seals. So they do the same thing, which is so nice. Of course, I never mind if you want to go ahead and rip into the envelope, but it is kind of fun to save the wax seal. I've seen people take magnets to the wax seals that they want to save and then magnetize them to their fridge, which is pretty cool. They glue them to the magnets. Okay, let's see if I can get this open here without running the wax seal. That is the goal. Now I know how you guys feel because you guys want to save yours, and it makes sense because they're so pretty. Okay. Now the goal, this envelope, I'm telling you, is so thick that it's hard to shimmy it open here without running anything inside either. I don't want to cut the note. Okay, here, I've got a little letter into it. Hey, Vintage Venny, thanks so much for joining. I'm so glad you're here. And we've got Edward, El Unico, Thrifter, and Treasures. Oh, you saved yours, Barbie. That's amazing. You know, Tia Fane, that is a good question. I've never had anyone say that theirs has broken. Of course, most of the wax seals these days that I'm sending are actually in the packages themselves. But I mailed out a bunch of Christmas cards last year, and I never heard anyone complain. So it is pretty amazing. Benny's being naughty in the chat. Okay, so she sent this beautiful wax seal. Now, this is Tina from A Vision and Vintage Co. If you are not subscribed to Tina, you should be, because she posts the most fabulously weird content, and it is really amazing. She was on one of my show and tells, and I mean, just the stuff she showed in her little cabinet of curiosities was absolutely amazing. She had bones, she had old embalming fluid bottles. I mean, if you're into all of that cool vintage, she's really got it. So she sent me this wonderful little package here. And she's got her little Vision and Vintage Co. sticker. I got to put that on my Yeti. I have a Yeti with all the stickers from this community on it. And then she's got this fun little postcard here. Actually, it's a photograph. Wow, it's on Kodak paper. How cool is this? And it's a little witch with one of those vintage pumpkins that we all look for when we're looking for vintage Halloween. So this is cool. This is going to go on my Halloween display. And then she sends this, which is her Vision and Vintage Co. She's on all of those social medias there, specializing in uncommon vintage and antiques. And she says, hello, here is the record. I finally found it, plus a pen since you didn't have any spooky ones. Best wishes, Tina. Oh, what a lovely note, Tina. Thank you so much for this and for this record. Now, this is pretty cool. This is from London Records. That's the label. And it's Jerry Lee Lewis. Now, how cool is this? Now, this is one of these special records because this is actually an EP. So it's not a full record, but it's an extended play. So there's more songs per side. And this is a 45 RPM. What's cool is it already has the 45 adapter in the record. A lot of these come with these punch-out 45 adapters that you can use. And this is Jerry Lee Lewis. Now, this is in really, really good shape. This is just in fantastic shape. Now, I do believe that this is probably the first pressing of this, but I think it's a compilation album of Jerry Lee Lewis's greatest hits. Let's see. This was sold for 85 cents, and I'm trying to read the date. I don't know what the date would be, but anyway, this is just fantastic. Of course, London Records, that's in England. And this has It Will Be Me, A Whole Lot of Shaking Going On. Then side number 2 has You Win Again, and of course, Great Balls of Fire. So I think this is a good compilation of some of Jerry Lee Lewis's hits. This is a fantastic little 45. I actually, believe it or not, do not have Great Balls of Fire on any vinyl. So this is very, very exciting. I have to do some more research on this particular press because I don't know just by looking at it. I'll do some research on Discogs, but this is amazing. And the record, I mean, you can see it's in pretty clean shape for its age. So I'll be spinning this over on Instagram for you guys this weekend, so stay tuned for that. So this is very, very cool. Yeah, maybe from the 60s, that could very well be. Yes, Great Balls of Fire, Venny. That's right, Great Balls of Fire. Great song. Hey, Catherine, the Eclectic Thrifter. Welcome, welcome. And Scott is here. Nate is flirting with Scott. Let's see. Who else is joining? Carrie. Carrie's got all these fun names for Nate. Hey, Nader, Tater, Tot, Casserole. I love it. I love it. And Auntie K is here. So welcome, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. So this is fantastic. I cannot wait to give this a listen. I love Jerry Lee Lewis, despite all of his issues that he had in his personal life. I won't get into that. You can do some research on Jerry Lee Lewis. He was a very interesting man, but his music lives on and is pretty spectacular. So I'm excited about that. Now, she also sent a really cool brooch, and I did sort of peek at this a little bit. But this is pretty amazing. So she sent this in this beautiful little case. And let me get my handy dandy little opener here so I can open this up for you, because it is pretty amazing. And I love that she included one of these little bags. These are just so cool. I will be reusing all of my packaging materials. Hey, Kim. Did I see Kim or Kelly? I don't know who came in, but welcome. Let's see. Hey, Coley's in the chat. Coley, where are you? I see people saying hello to my friend Coley. Coley, welcome. Thanks so much for joining. I don't see your name in the chat. It probably was further up, but welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in. That is my best friend, Coley, one of my best friends. He lives all the way in Virginia. So welcome, Coley. Thanks for joining. This is really cool. She sent me this Halloween pin. And I love this because I actually don't have anything too Halloween. I talked about this in one of my brooch videos. I have a black cat and I have a moon now, but I really don't have anything super spooky. So I was very excited when I opened this and I found this little cool brooch for Halloween. This is going to be fun, and I'm going to put it on my jean jacket, Tina. So I love this. Thank you so, so much. This is fantastic. Just a really cool pin. So that will be fun for Halloween, and I'm very, very excited about that. So thank you so much for sending that to me. Yeah, it is pretty amazing, Peterson. That is going to be great for Halloween. Oh, is Auntie Christy going to start selling and doing sales? That would be wonderful, Auntie Kay. And I'm missing some chats here. I'm sorry if I'm missing your chat. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's see what else friend mail I have. I always have trouble in these videos. I don't have a lot of counter space on this side of the counter because I've got my lights and my microphone and everything set up. So I'm always trying to do a little shimmy of where can I put these things when I've opened them. Because I do get quite a bit of friend mail, and I'm always so grateful for everyone that sends me something. But again, you guys don't have to send me anything at all, but I do enjoy opening them. Now, this next friend mail came from David over at Toledo Antiques. And David, I'm sorry, but I ripped your little card by mistake when I was opening the box. I do like to go ahead and at least open these because you always package things so well. Everyone always sends things dressed to the nines, I like to say, with all the bubble wrap and wrapping. And I hate to open that live on camera and have all that rustling around. So I did go ahead and open it up and get the item out so it'd be a little easier to show. But this is from David, Toledo Antiques. Now, David, Louie loves this particular thing now. David has been doing a lot of sales recently with a whole variety of people. He's kind of new to our community, but he's got some great items for sale. And he sent me this record. Now, this is a Monkees record. And it's funny because I don't actually have this record. So I was very excited to get it, because this actually has the theme from the Monkees. And this is the song that you hear all the time on Instagram and the stories that people use. So this is a great record. Now, this is on Coal Gems. I'm not familiar with this particular label, but this is wonderful. So this is a 1966 record here. So I do think that this is probably an original press. I'd have to do some research. I actually listen to a lot of 50s and 60s, so this is not as much in my wheelhouse, but I'm very excited to give it a listen. So it's got the Monkees, which I do particularly love that song. Saturday's Child, I Want to Be Free. Tomorrow's Going to Be Another Day. Papa Jean's Blues, Take a Giant Step. Last Train to Clarksville. This Just Doesn't Seem to Be My Day. Let's Dance On. I'll Be True to You. Sweet Young Thing, and Gonna Buy Me a Dog. So this is very exciting. The record here is just amazing. So here's the label. This is in really, really good shape. The vinyl is very shiny. There isn't hardly any scratches on the side that I'm seeing. So this is going to be a great playthrough. So I'm very excited about this record. Came from David over at Toledo Antiques. So thank you, David. I'll be spinning this as well over on Instagram this weekend with that Jerry Lee Lewis record. So stay tuned for a little snippet. I can't play them here. I wish I could, but copyright doesn't allow me to do that. So I have to do a little bit of Instagram play for you all. So if you're not following me over on Instagram at vintage_and_vinyl, make sure you do that. And And I see Mary Beth is tuning in. Welcome, Mary Beth. Thanks so much for joining. I love your little orange bird. That just makes me happy. Yeah, a very fun record, Peterson. I agree. I don't know that, Tim. That's something I'm going to have to do some research on, and I'll get back with you. Yes, I do too. Oh, it was so good, Mary Beth, seeing all of the videos from Ohio. Oh, I wish I was there. That's all I can say. I think we all do. We were watching them going, oh man, how amazing that would be to meet up with George and Crazy Lamp Lady and Left Coast Revivals. Oh, it was just so great. So thank you for sharing all that fun content. And Flippin' and Sippin' was a lot of fun last week. Really fun game. I've played that game before, but it's been years, so it was fun playing along in the chat. Let's see. No, Peter is gone. Oh, thank you, Sharon, for sharing that. Everyone's so helpful in the chat. It was a very fun trip. Good, Mary Beth. I'm so glad. Yes, everyone's been loving the Ohio videos. Okay, so I got some other friend mail here to share. And this is really a fun piece of friend mail that came in from Angela over at Dear Angela's Vintage. She's the fabulous creator of our YouTube live sale calendar. And this was a gift from Lucid Curios from one of her sales. And this is the Home Workshop Planner. It's a wood book. It's by this company that does a lot of great woodworking books. And I love this because I do woodworking and I have a shop. And this is just going to be so helpful to look through because there aren't a ton of books like this out on the market. Now, if you go on Google, you can look up a lot of like shop ideas and things to improve your workflow and get different ideas going to, set up your shop. But this is kind of neat because there's a lot of really handy ideas in here that I hadn't thought of before. So I really like this book because it's got some great illustrations in it. And it's got some really cool ideas on workshop setup, some great ideas on dust collections and jigs and things that you can make. Here's something for a router table. So they're talking about what you can do for outfeed for a router table. You've got, your Delta table saw. Nice table saw. So this is a really good book, and I'm so excited to look through it. Look at this. Now, I think this is pretty cool. I love the way that they have framed the pegboards here and that they swing out. So you kind of have like multiple pegboards in a small space, but they swing out and you've got all your tools hanging there. So this is pretty cool. I might have to try some of these things in my own shop. So thank you so much, Angela. And she writes, Katie, Angela bought this book for you. She says you are a whittler of wood and reminds me of Paulie in the movie Son-in-Law. That job with your content and your channel, go watch. Give Louie some love from me and keep up the hard work. Love, Lucid. Yes, and Dear Angela's Vintage is Angela Marksbury. Now, she also included all of these fun package toppers. I always love these, and I like reusing them. And then she included a pen. Now, I think this is so fun. It's a little hat pen, two-tone. So you've got the gold with the matte gold. And she says, Katie, this always reminded me of you and your amazing fedoras. Love, Lucid. So, Lucid, thank you so much. I love this little hat pen, very Western, and it will just be, it would even match this today that I've got on, but I've got the little Scotty on today from Stephanie at Thrifting Adventures. But this is so fun. So thank you, Lucid, very much for this. I can't wait to wear it. And Angela, thank you for the book. I can't wait to do some reading on this book and maybe implement some cool new ideas in my shop. So very fun. Yeah, a classic cowboy hat, Peterson. That's right. I hope to, Barbie. I do. I really want to do a couple of videos on rewiring lamps and doing some basic rewiring projects and so forth. So that will be coming sometime in the future. So stay tuned for that. I got to work on my setup a little bit, though, how I'm going to do that, the lighting, because the lighting's not very good. So I'm working on some of that. Okay, so we got some more friend mail here. And this is from Katie over at Katie Berkeley Girl, who's down in the chat. Now, Katie sent some amazing things, and I am so excited to share these with you. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. The funny thing about my coffee that I got in celebration of this friend mail video is they didn't give me the long straw. So they gave me 2 straws. Both of them were short straws. So I had to take off the lid here so I could get a drink of my coffee. Yeah, I just don't think the dome lids work very well with the short straws. Okay, so Katie Berkeley girl sent me this friend mail, and I'm reading some chat at the same time. I see Catherine is saying, you hope to restore a 1930s child electric stove. And I also saw your comment that a router is on your wish list. Well, routers are fantastic. I couldn't do anything without a router, so I love my router. And I definitely recommend getting a router table. It is worth the extra money for that. Okay, so this is from Katie Berkeley girl. Now she sent some fun stickers, and look at this one. It's her little logo with the little cat, Berkeley girl. How cute is that? Now this actually came, the first friend mail actually came inside the trusty traveler box that I received from her, and I've now passed that on. So this came from that, and then she also sent some separate friend mail. And I did get the short straw at Starbucks today. I really did. But this was the first thing that came in that friend mail box. But this was the trusty traveler. And so I considered this friend mail because Katie emailed me. She said, I'm sending you the trusty traveler. And she mentioned that there was something in there I would really like. And she was right. Now, if you don't know what the trusty travelers are, they're basically traveling geocaching boxes that Patrick over at Trusty Huckster Mercantile invented. And it's a great thing that he's doing. All of the geo boxes are going around the country. I think there's close to, I want to say 21 of them now that are traveling about. And so I sent mine on. This was the 4th one I've gotten. And so when Katie said I would like this, she hit the nail on the head. So this is a really beautiful Venetian style leather box. Look at that. Isn't this beautiful? I just love the detail to this. And then inside, if you open it up, she included some brooches. Now, these brooches are pretty cool. The first one is very Halloween-y, but it is the lion, and he's got a little red top hat on with his little cane. And isn't he fun? Now, Nate was just teaching us in his silver video that there are different types of lion stances. Now, Nate, tell me if I get this correct. I could be wrong, but this is the lion passant. Is that right? Because he's standing up with his one paw in the air. Now, if the lion has all 4 paws on the floor, there's a different name for that. I could be wrong, but Nate will tell me in the chat if I got that right. But I will forever remember that there's different lion poses. So this is the lion with the fun top hat in the silver tone. He is just fantastic. And then she also sent this elephant. Now, I was just talking with Patrick at Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and he mentioned to me that this is actually a political elephant. So if you find any of these elephants with the glasses, they're pertaining to a political campaign, which is very, very cool. So that is awesome. I love this little gold elephant. And then she sent the scissors along, which is so fun because I never imagined that there were such a thing as scissor brooches, but there are, and this is probably for sewing. So if you're doing any type of sewing, this would be for you. But how fun is that? Like, you could have a little sewing theme. Oh, Venice is being so saucy in the chat, and that's funny. Let's see. Yes, Patrick with the elephant glasses. Oh, it's a poodle. We think that maybe this is a poodle. Well, it could be a, you know what? It probably is a poodle. I don't know. It could be a lion or a poodle. Yeah, now that I see its little, I just noticed it does have little fur things around the bottom. So you know how they shave poodles, because actually poodles have to be shaved that way if they're going to enter any type of AKC dog event. That's the official groom style for poodles. So as silly as it looks, it actually does have a purpose. These are definitely poodle puffs. That's what I'm going to call it, poodle puffs. So yes. Okay. Nate is helping me out here. Rampant on the back legs, passant on 3 legs, There you go, and standing on all four. But we think it's a poodle. Okay. Well, I was close. I was close. So lion or poodle, whatever you guys think. I was thinking more like a lion circus barker, but I think he is a poodle, and Louie thinks it's a poodle too. So we're gonna go with poodle. But Berkeley girl, Katie, I love these. These are so fun. Thank you very, very much for this fun little friend mail and this beautiful box. This box is just beautiful. Yeah, it has a Dr. Seuss look to it. It does, Katie. But I love these, so thank you so much. And Nate has spoken. So yes, passant on 3 legs, and then rampant on back legs, and then the statin on all 4. And I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but yes, great commentary there, Nate. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, the other thing Katie sent is in this package. And Katie, I got to say, this is pretty amazing. You've got your own custom padded envelopes, which is just great. This is a very sweet gift from Katie Berkeley girl. And she says, to Katie B from Katie C. Now, she's Katie C. I'm Katie B. And I like that we have many Katies in the chat. I love that. And then she sent this really beautiful envelope here with the cute little Scotty dogs. I think there's a Dalmatian, some Scotties, a Dachshund, and a fun little dog. The front of this card is just so cute. And this is by Crane. Now, if you know anything about vintage cards or cards in general, Crane is a really, really amazing brand of vintage and modern stationery. They make modern stationery too. But look out for Crane, because Crane is very nice. So this is a lovely card, Katie. And I'm going to read this. It says, Katie, I decided that you just had to have this, and I'm thrilled to find one that's not in your collection. My gift to you. Enjoy. I hope to someday get to meet you and Louie. Until then, I'm glued to your YouTube adventures. XO, the other Katie. Aw, thank you very much, Katie. This is something that Katie emailed me about, and she said, do you have this one, and do you want it? And I said, well, yes, I want it. And she was so kind enough to mail this to me. Now, I wanted to show her packaging, because her packaging is just really lovely. All of you guys do such great job with your packaging. Even Louie agrees the packaging is pretty amazing. Hey, Chad, thanks so much for tuning in. So this is something that's really extra special, because this is a typewriter ribbon pen that you do not see a whole lot of. And I was very, very excited to receive this, because I don't have this one. So let me show you this typewriter ribbon pen. This is a very colonial style typewriter ribbon pen. Look at the graphics on this. Isn't it just amazing? Now, this is made by Colonial Quality inked ribbon. So very fun marketing there. Columbia, California Inked Ribbon Supply out of Maywood, California. It is for an electromatic typewriter, black red. So this is a little bit newer in the typewriter ribbon spectrum, because it has the black red ink, which is something that wasn't present with older ribbons. This is, I've talked about this before, but this is the 1/2-inch size. So there's different sizes of typewriter ribbons. There are the flat, long, skinny boxes. Those are going to be your earliest ribbon tens. We're talking 1800s for those. And then you get into sizes of 1 and 1/2 inch. Now, what had happened before they had ribbon tens is the ribbon was just so loose with the typewriters. And then it would have to be sent back for re-inking. And that really became a mess, because the ribbons would dry out, and they had to have something that made it more accessible for people to actually get the ribbons in their typewriters and get fresh ribbons. So they invented a tin that would hold the ribbon, and those were the long flat boxes. Now, the reason that they had the flat boxes is because there weren't spools yet. Ribbons were not sold on spools, which that created another problem, because inking a typewriter with fresh ribbon without a spool is very messy. The ink goes everywhere, all over your hands, and it was a really wide ribbon at the time. So it just really wasn't something that was working. So they actually put ribbons on a spool and made typewriters where all you had to do was then insert the spool and everything would be hunky-dory. but those spools were really large. So they were 1 1/2 inch in size. So those are those big square typewriter ribbon boxes that you see. Those are called tall tens. Now, those are not as common. Those are pretty hard to find nowadays, depending on the ones that you're actually searching for. But what's interesting about the progression of typewriter ribbon tin sizes is it does help you date it, because in 1895, there was a little battle between Remington and Underwood. Now, Underwood used to make the ribbons for Remington, but Remington decided, you know what? We're just going to cut ties with Underwood. We're not going to have anything to do with them, and we're going to make our ribbon in-house. Well, Underwood did not like that, because that was their sole business, was making these ribbons. So they decided to kind of get back at Remington and invent a typewriter that would take smaller ribbon and would actually change the way typewriters and ribbons were done. And so in 1895, they released their typewriter, which actually took only 1/2 inch ribbon, which are these smaller size ribbon tins, and it became the industry standard. So really, Underwood, they got the last laugh, so to speak, because they really did beat out Remington, and they became such a big deal when they did that. So if you find these 1/2 inch ribbon sizes, these are going to be from 1895 to 1960, because in 1960 they went away from the tins and they started using plastic and cardboard and other materials that weren't tins. Now, I do think it took a while for a lot of those sizes to convert. So I think after 1895, you didn't just start seeing a bunch of these. I still think some of those tall tins were around probably up until the 30s, but that's just sort of a rough guideline on how you can date some of these tins. Now, the other thing you can do, and I don't know if this tin has it or not, but you can look on the side, because sometimes you can see who actually made the tin. And yes, indeed, this guy is made by none other than Decorated Metal. Now, what's pretty cool about this one is you see it's actually spelled Decorated Metal. Other typewriter ribbon tins have just DG, Decorated Metal. So when you see it spelled out like that, this is a little bit earlier than just the DG from my research. So this is pretty cool. They're usually small marks on the side. Decorated Metal and the American Can Company were the two largest companies that actually made these typewriter ribbon tins. Now, there are others, and when you get into some of the earlier typewriter ribbon tins, like the Mercer Company made a lot of the tins, but then in 1901, let's see, the American Can Company became a company, and they bought a lot of those other companies, so things got merged and combined. So if you find a ribbon tin with certain makers, that will also help you date it as well. So anyway, this is very cool. I could talk for hours about typewriter ribbon tins, but that's a little bit of the history of them, and this one is just so cool. So I love this. Thank you so much, Berkeley girl. Just amazing. Yeah, Louie wants to join in on the friend mail. Now, Louie can't join in on the friend mail because Louie would eat it all. And Louie has a very interesting history of eating Christmas ornaments. She ate some Christmas lights. She chewed the head off of a girly candle. So I really have to be careful with her and make sure that she's not munching on things she shouldn't. So when I do friend mail, because things tend to maybe fall on the floor, like wrapping and so forth, she has to be in the kennel just for her safety. And then once I get all this cleaned out, she can come back out. So that is where Louie is. She is safe and sound, but she wants out to be part of the action. Yeah, Louie does eat a lot of things that she shouldn't. And I am very careful. I don't leave things around on the floor for her to get, but you know, dogs will be dogs and they'll find a way to get things. Yeah, Dee, I'm not 100% sure that she's not a goat. She might be dressing up as a goat for Halloween. But the pugs, you know, the thing about pugs is pugs are known for eating pretty much anything. It's just a breed trait. And so if you look up pugs, or you look up getting into pugs, or owning a pug for the first time, that's one of the things that you will see on a lot of these websites is, be careful. Pugs eat everything. Make sure you don't have things around. So yes, Louie is eating her fair share of things. Hey, TC, thanks so much for joining TKR Video Central. I love TC. He's got a great channel as well. So if you're not subscribed to TKR Video Central, he puts out a lot of great vinyl content. So I enjoy his content a lot. And Scott saying, my puppy is the same, puts everything into his mouth. It looks yummy. I know, it's like, that doesn't look good. Like Christmas ornaments and girly candles look pretty nasty to me. Like I wouldn't want to ingest them. They're beautiful by themselves as everyday objects. But I'm thinking, why, Louie? It's not like it smells like bacon, but who knows? Yes, and his new puppy, Scott's new puppy, is adorable. Hey, Poodle, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate that, Poodle. So, yes, thank you guys so much. Let's see. Book is here. Welcome, Book. Thank you so much for joining. And if I missed anybody else, I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for tuning in. So that was from Berkeley Girl. I really appreciate those lovely gifts, Berkeley Girl, the fellow other Katie in the chat. And now I've got a wonderful gift from Melinda, Lavish Mango. Melinda's just joining back. She said she dozed off, and you can always go back and watch the replay. But Melinda, I've got your friend mail here, so I'll open it while I see you in the chat. This is a sweet note from Melinda. She says, hi, Katie. This isn't vintage, but it's no longer manufactured. It is also not complete, but complete enough to have some fun. Give Louie a hug for me. Love, Melinda. Thank you so much, Melinda. This is just a really clever way, I have to say, folks, to reuse an Amazon bag. I never thought about doing this, but this kind of makes sense. So if you're a reseller, we're all into recycling packaging and saving what we can. This is pretty clever. So she's actually made it a folded, padded envelope with this Amazon bag. How clever is this? I might have to use this trick, Melinda. I just think that it is fantastic. Okay, so this is what Melinda sent me, and this is just so fun. This is actually a 6 strings rock and roll decoration. Now, how fun is this? I love this. 6 strings of rock and roll, 7 feet long and 42 feet of decorating. And what this is their little records that hang down off the wall. So I think that this is so fun. So you've got all of these little records here, and you can hang them up. They've got little fishing wire, and I just love this. Now, the records that they've chosen to put here are, I don't know if they're actually real groups or not. Let's see. I think they're made up groups. I was trying to figure this out when I opened it. It says the Boppers Rock and Roll, the Polka Dots. Now, I don't know if the Polka Dots are actually a group. Polka Dots, the Drive-Ins, Do the Milk. Oh, they might be. Do the Milkshake. So they've got all these fun ones that repeat. So you got the Boppers, the Polka Dots with Teenage Dreamer, and the Drive-Ins, Do the Milkshake. So fun. These are little records. And they're just paper, but they're so fun. Now, this is going to be great for a party. So I'm thinking that this would be a great decoration to have in the background of a certain collaboration video that I will be doing soon. And if you are not following Patrick and his birthday celebration, these are going to be perfect for that, Melinda. So I'm so glad that they arrived. So if you want to participate in Patrick's birthday celebration, you can follow Patrick's channel, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, and he just put out a video about his birthday party and what you need to do. And we have to make some vintage recipes and throw Patrick a virtual birthday party since he will be on the road. And I've got the perfect recipe, but these will be the icing on the cake, these fun little record-themed records. So I'm very excited about that. So thank you so much, Melinda. Yes, and next game night, Peterson, absolutely. Next game night, I think, would be so fun for those. Thank you, Peterson, for putting in Patrick's channel. And TC is saying, yes, he needs those for his office studio. They are really cool. These would look great behind you, TC, in your videos. with your TKR little logo in between your record stacks. That would be great. That would be really fun. So yes, I love these, Melinda. Thank you so much. Great for the next party. And the nice thing is these are reusable too. So you can keep reusing them. And I love that. And the little music notes on the package are so cute. These vintage decorations are really fun. So thank you so much. I want to participate in Chubby Bunny. I vowed, Dee, that I would never do Chubby Bunny again. But for you, Dee, I might resurrect Chubby Bunny to do it with Dee, because I think that would be pretty funny. So we might have to do another Chubby Bunny, Dee, if you want to. But I'll just warn you, it's pretty gross. No more Chubby Bunny. I think Peterson's a little traumatized by the Chubby Bunny because we thought it looked fun, but we didn't realize how nasty it was going to be. So if you missed that fun ice cream social video I did where I had some ice cream and we played Pictionary and we did Chubby Bunny, you can always go back and watch that. I wish I had a Pearl Snap flannel elderly poodle, but I don't. But this is just a fun shirt. This is one of my favorite shirts, actually, because it's multiple colors, and I love the cheery colors of this, and I love anything plaid. I just have a plaid addiction, I guess. But this is a fun little cotton button down that I got. I wish it was a Pearl Snap, but it's not. Hey, Mickey, thrifting in the holler. Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, it really was funny. I have to say it was funny. And Peterson had 17 marshmallows in her mouth. Hey, Helen, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm really glad you're here. Okay, so this next box was a very, very sweet gift from Barbie over at Punk Funk and Junk, who's in the chat. So if you're not following Barbie, definitely go do that. She writes this lovely note on this amazing postcard. And look at the graphics on this, you guys. How stunning is this? I absolutely love that. This is from the Kyoto Handcrafted Center or Handicraft Center in Kyoto, Japan. So there is the mark. And look, I think it's on like a recycled paper. I don't know. It's just beautiful, Barbie. I love it. And she says, Katie, thank you for always being such a bright spot in the chats. I appreciate your authenticity, your charm, and your kindness. On top of that, you bring so much knowledge and wisdom to our community, and I'm very grateful. To show my appreciation, I've picked up a couple of items I thought you might enjoy. You are free to keep or put up for sale, your choice. There is a tin included. Note that the tin I purchased some time ago, I noticed in one of your friend mail videos that you have been gifted the same tin. Since I purchased it for you, you can keep or sell it. I hope to meet you in person one day, and I enjoy traveling, and perhaps we can meet up in a city somewhere someday. Always my best, love, Barbie. Oh, Barbie, thank you so much, and I do hope that we can meet up someday too. It's always fun chatting with you in the chats and over on Instagram. What a lovely note, Barbie. Just so fun. And one of the things she included, and Benny, you're going to like this, is this is from the Drink Warm Milk calendar, pretty as a picture. And it's a little pinup, and it says pretty as a picture. And look at that. Isn't she stunning? So let me pull this out of the cellophane here so that you can see it in person. Isn't she just gorgeous? I love the colors of her dress. And, of course, it says pretty as a picture. Now, this one is, I think it's, okay, Lou Armstrong. Vinny, did you talk about this in our pinup video we did? Vinny and I did a video together, a duo dive, not a duo dive. This was when I was doing show and tells. We've combined duo dives and show and tells, which is very exciting. But this is when Vinny did that show and tell, and I think you talked about Lou Armstrong. I think, anyway, this is just such a cool pinup. Drink More Milk calendar, pretty as a picture, out of St. Paul, Minnesota. I just love this, Barbie. This is so fun, and I got to put this in a flower frog. This is going to be a great little addition to some of my pinups that I've been starting. Vinny got me into pinups. You know, that's the thing about this community is you see someone's collection and you're like, oh, man, that's cool. Now I got to start another collection. We all have these endless collections, which are so fun. But this is some things that Barbie sent me. And this is so sweet of Barbie. She has included some really fun brooches. Now, I just mentioned I don't have a lot of Halloween or fall theme brooches, and this one is perfect. This is a scarecrow and a witch. Look at that. How fun is this brooch in the gold tone? I just love this, Barbie. It is a really nice, solid pen. I mean, this is just very lovely. And this one is marked. Now, I was trying to read the mark here. I think, and I need my jeweler's loop, and I should have brought it over here, but I didn't for the friend mail video, so I'll post this on Instagram. But I think it's Dorset is the company that makes it, so I'll do a little research on that. But this is just beautiful. The detailing to this is so well done. Look, there's a little kitty cat down there. You've got the witch's broom, the hat, the scarecrow. How fun is that? And you've got the two different metals. Oh, I love this, Barbie. This is just fantastic. And she also sent me a giraffe, and I don't have a giraffe. And this little giraffe has a blue Jimmy eye. I love these little animals that have the Jimmy eyes. It's like so happy. Oh, he's got his little Jimmy eye. It just makes me just smile. And he's got a lot of texture on him. So he's got his giraffe spots here. I don't have any technical names for animals, to be quite honest. So we're just calling it giraffe spots and poodle puffs today. And then you've got the silver tone on the back. I mean, this is just a really well done, beautiful pen. So I love this, Barbie. Thank you so much. And she sent this brooch, and this is a sparkler, let me tell you. This is going to be great on my jean jacket. This is a beautiful pink pen. It's kind of like a daisy. And it's styling, and then you've got the beautiful glued in stones there. Just stunning. I love that marquee shape, Barbie, and you know, because I've talked about that a lot in my videos. So this is a beautiful pen. This would even be great on the hat that I'm wearing. I mean, look how fun is that. So very, very stunning. I know Daniel's drooling in the chat right now. Daniel and I both love the brooches. So yes, very, very fun. Yeah, the pink is stunning. It really is. I'm going to need more room for my brooches, Gabrielle. That is very, very true. Yes, perfect for denim, and I can't wait to wear it. Thank you so much, Barbie. That is just absolutely lovely. Oh, thank you, Mickey. Yes, I posted a look to my Instagram story today featuring the outfit that I wore yesterday for the Jane-a-thon and for Patrick's sale. It was a lot of fun, and I had a hat on that Jane over at Doggone Happy Vintage sent me, and so I was very excited to share that. Now, this is the other thing Barbie sent, and this is pretty cool. This is the Webster Typewriter Ribbon 10. Now, Barbie, you saw that I got one of these in my friend mail, but you actually sent me a different one, and you didn't know it because this one is hinged, which is so cool. So I've never seen a hinged one. The other one I have, I believe, just has the top that lifts off. So you did a great job. This is very cool. This is an earlier 10. Now, this is a 1/2 inch size. And what I like about it is it's not round. So if you notice the other typewriter ribbon, oh, I put it back in the box, but this one's square compared to round, which is very, very cool. This is the Webster. I just love the Webster ones. This is very sought after, this Webster style, because the graphics are just so cool. So I love this, Barbie. So yes, this one is not one that I have because it's got the hinge, which makes it extra, extra special. So thank you so much. What a cool addition to my typewriter ribbon 10 collection. Hey, Helen, thanks so much for joining in. And Donna the Mama is here. Welcome, Donna. Haven't seen you in a hot minute, so I'm so glad you're tuning in. So those are wonderful, Barbie. And for your sweet note, thank you so much. I will be saving that note and adding those things to my collection. So thank you very, very much. Okay, so we've got some more friend mail, and I am going to take a little bit of my coffee here. And let's see what Poodle's suggesting. Line your hallway with black velvet and pin them. Ooh, that would be pretty cool, Poodle, I have to say. I love that idea. That would be epic. That would be almost akin to, I don't know if you follow Lacey Faye, the vintage girl next door. I love her channel. I know a lot of you guys love her as well, but she has an amazing brooch collection. I want to say she probably has more brooches than I do, but she has built these frames, and they're like picture frames, and inside there's black velvet, and she pins all of her brooches to them. Absolutely amazing. So if you want to go check out her brooch videos, I highly recommend it because she's just got an amazing collection. Yes, I do. I do, Peterson. That's very, very true. Yeah, she does. Oh, yeah. I love, love, love Lacey Faye. So many good channels to watch in our community. Now, the next friend mail came in from Sam Doyen in the chat. We all know and love Sam. Patrick always welcomes and greets Sam as Sam, the stud with the stash, and he is fabulous. And this is a package from Sam. Now, Sam did a really fabulous deep dive on his menu collection. So if you're not following Sam on Instagram over at Dining at Sea, Sam just is great. He's so knowledgeable on his antique menus and is just a great guy. So I always learn from Sam. I loved his deep dive. It was so interesting. I think he inspired Patrick's collection of vintage and antique menus. And so he sent me this little package of friend mail. Now this one is so fun. This is actually a little postcard, and it says, "Hi, Katie. Thank you for your ephemera bowl. Saw this and thought you might like it." Well, thank you so much, Sam. This will be perfect for my ephemera bowl. So the first thing is his little note, which he wrote on this postcard. I've got it upside down. The little penguins there, aren't they fun? And then this one is science fiction. So it's a print from a science fiction tiger. Now, for Halloween, this is pretty cool, I gotta say. And look at the bow tie. I mean, just a really cool little book cover. So science fiction book cover with Alfred Bester, Tiger. I've not actually read this book, but I might have to hunt it down now for one of my book readings. So this is the cover from 1967 on a really cool postcard, and a great note from Sam. And then he included these things. And wow, Sam, this is pretty amazing. This is a travel menu from the travel menu. What am I saying? He collects travel menus. I'm crossing my wires here. This is a road map from the Standard Oil Company. Oh my gosh, this is fabulous. This is from Florida. That's what I was trying to say, not from travel menus. Okay, I'll get it together at some point. This is the roadmap of Florida, Standard Oil Company. And look at the graphics on this. Oh, Sam, you really nailed it with this one. This is going straight in my ephemera bowl. But look at this, published by the Standard Oil Company out of Kentucky. This is the 1930 road map of Florida. Look at the graphics on that. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So on the back, it says test it for start, for pickup, and for power, and for mileage. And it has lightning bolts. Now, I've talked about this, but I have a thing for vintage lightning bolts. That graphic is just amazing to me. And it's got some little vintage lightning bolts off to the side. You've got your cars there. And then it says Crown Ethel Gasoline, Standard Motor Oil Company. The choice of more motorists year after year. Sustained popularity is the proof of quality. And on the inside, it says Standard Motor Oil is made from the selected crudes of the choicest grades. It's refined up to a definite standard and is sold at a fair price. And then on the inside, you have the most amazing graphics. So this is your approximate mileage, points in Florida. So you've got all of this on the back. And I'm being very careful because this is very old. So look at that. I mean, how cool is that? And if that were not cool enough, you have this, which is just awesome. So this is a map of Florida. So I'm interested to see, let's take a look at this map, because I want to see if Jacksonville is on here. So, yep, Jacksonville is on here. I don't know if I can show this to you. Let me see how I can show this to you. So this has Jacksonville on it. So Jacksonville's right here. That's where I am. And then there's St. Augustine. So St. Augustine's on the map. And then you've got Fernandina. So 3 lovely places to visit in Florida. Let's see where Orlando is. If I can find Orlando. DeLand, Florida is listed on here. Bunel is on here. And Palatka. Now, it's interesting because they've listed Palatka as, let's see, indicates towns in which one or more Standard Oil Company service stations are located. So Palatka actually has the little star. So does Jacksonville. Now, Palatka is about an hour from me. So there's Palatka with the star. Well, I don't know if that shows. Yeah, you can see it there. So that is pretty cool. Now, Palatka was actually supposed to be what Jacksonville is now today, but Palatka never made it quite to that point. So Palatka's changed quite a bit, but it was a big port for trade and for all kinds of different ships and so forth coming in, but Jacksonville ultimately became the bigger city. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Orlando's here. Okay, Kissimmee is here. Winter Park is here. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are on the map that we still go and visit to today, which is pretty cool. So this has just got some amazing graphics, Sam. I mean, this is amazing. And look, someone has done their calculations for their drives, which I just love that kind of stuff. I know that there's two schools of thought. With ephemera, some people like it to be pristine, but I really like that history behind it. And I like when people have their own personal notes or touches that they've done with the different maps and different ephemera and things, because it's just cool. If somebody actually had this in their car and used it, and that is just amazing to me. So Sam, thank you so much for this amazing, amazing map and this really fun postcard. So I can't wait to add that to my ephemeral. Hey, Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. Thanks so much for joining. I'm glad you're tuning in. Let's see who else is here in the chat. If I missed anyone, I'm so sorry. Going to get the doggies their shots. Oh, no waiting on Friday night. Okay, love to you, Poodle, and good luck with that. So yes, I love this map. So thank you so much, Sam. This is amazing. And I can't wait to look at this more and add this to my ephemeral. Okay, so a couple of other pieces of friend mail came in. And the first one is from Patrick over at Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Actually, several of these pieces are from Patrick. And when I opened this, I smiled because this was so fun. I've actually seen this book before, but I've never picked it up. And Patrick is so sweet. He included a little typewriter ribbon card, which I just think is so great. And that says, Katie, thank you for your help on my channel, Patrick. Very, very kind, Patrick. And I love the typewriter keys on this card. Just very fun. Now, this gift is so sweet because, of course, all of you know that I have a little pug named Louie, which you have heard barking throughout this entire broadcast. But this is a pug book from Patrick, Animal Planet pug book. And I can't wait to actually read more about pugs. But the graphics on this are so fun. Look at the little squishy faces. I mean, how can you not love a pug? Pugs were actually bred in China, for all of you guys that don't know that. They were invented for the emperors to provide protection and comfort and company. And pugs also have an interesting history because I think, and I'd have to review this, somewhere in England, they are actually the official dog of a particular family because the person woke up in the middle of the night to robbers, and their pug actually saved them from robbers. And so they became the official dog of that particular higher up family. I have to do some more research on that because it's been a while since I read that story, but it's pretty cool. So pugs have a very rich history. And actually, if you look at pugs, fun little thing that I learned about pugs is the wrinkles in the forehead are actually shaped. They're supposed to be shaped. I mean, it's kind of a loose interpretation of a Chinese character symbol, which actually means something. So I was reading about that and I thought that was really interesting. But the Chinese bred that into the pugs for that reason. So that's pretty cool. So let's see. What about pugs? The earliest pugs were brought to America, imported from England. Pugs records show that pugs competed in dog shows as early as 1879. The American Kennel Club, AKC, officially recognized the pug breed in 1885. Throughout, the popularity of pugs in America have been waxed and waned over for years. The loyalty and comical pug is currently a very popular dog, and indeed it is. Pugs are so comical. They're so loving. They're so delightful. They just love company. They love being near people. I just love pugs. They're the best dogs in the world. Now, my family never owned pugs, but my neighbor did. Growing up, my dad's neighbor had a pug named Kingston, and they're from Canada. My neighbors were from Canada, and we took care of their pug Kingston during the summer one year when they went on vacation, and I just fell in love with him because he was so comical, so fun, so delightful. And I knew that one day I would have a pug, and now I have Louie, and Louie's just the best pug in the entire world. So this is a fun book. I can't wait to read about it. Look at the graphics on this. This little pug's so happy. He's probably wanting food because all pugs love food. Let's see what else is in here. So they've got some great little tips here on dental care, eye care, ear care. They definitely need a lot of care. Pugs do have ear problems. That is something that is known to be an issue. Let's see what else they have. Collar and harnesses. You always want to have a harness like they showed here for the pugs because pugs do have breathing problems. So you don't want to have a collar that kind of yanks at their neck. So the harness is a good option. So really some great expert advice here. And fun pictures and just darling pugs. So thank you so much, Patrick, for this. I love that book. And another thing that Patrick sent me, which I just think is so awesome, is this is a fun little gift that Patrick included. And when I opened it, it just made me smile. So this is a wonderful little fedora. Now, Patrick did, hey, Tina from A Vision of Vintage Co. I opened your friend mail and I just love it. Your wax seal is beautiful. This is something that Patrick did a show and tell on, and it was on different kitchen cake toppers. And I just thought it was so interesting because I had never really thought about cake toppers being vintage or something that you could collect in the vintage realm. Like, it just didn't cross my mind that people actually do collect vintage cake toppers. And this is so fun. So this is a Kitchen Caper, which is the company that sold these cake toppers. And this is a little fedora. So very, very fitting, Patrick. I love this. This might be something, well, see, I hate to take it out of the package because I love that it's in its original package, which is with its 98-cent price tag. So I was going to say this would be great for your birthday celebration going along with the cake. Well, now I just kind of spoiled it with the recipe that I'm making. So I don't know, but I love this, Patrick. This is so fun. And he included a little pin. He had a bunch of these for sale a little while ago, and he included a Bic, which is a pin company, a little hat pin to go along with this. So fun, Patrick. I love this. They made a bunch of other things. Cake decorating sets, paste, food color, piping gel, flavoring, salad mold, specialty cake pans. So this company sold a lot of things. They're food and cake decorating supplies. So this is a very, very cool cake topper, Patrick. And the other thing that Patrick sent me, which is the Duroflex ribbon. This is a typewriter ribbon. And I actually do not have this one. So I was very excited when Patrick found it because I just think that the graphics are so cool. And I've talked about this before with typewriter ribbon tints, but condition sometimes doesn't matter when you're looking at these. For the more common ones, it does. Of course, people want things to be in good condition, but this is not one that I see a lot of. Now, I'm looking at an online market, so I'm not saying that these aren't out there at your antique malls, your thrift shops, whatever, but these aren't really common online, which is where I buy a lot of my tins. So for me, The graphics are still really in good shape, so I don't mind some of that rusty crustiness, because to me that adds to it. And that goes with typewriter ribbon tins. You can still have typewriter ribbon tins that are a little bit worse for wear, and they can still sell because they're just uncommon. So this is pretty cool. Now, typewriter ribbon tins, the cool thing about them is some companies actually did advertise that you could store things inside once they were done. So these weren't things that you just threw away. A lot of people took the ribbon out, they used it, and then they would put these in their desks with maybe paper clips or staples or whatever they needed to hold, because these were little perfect reusable containers. And of course, you flash back to a couple of more than a couple of years ago, people didn't just throw things away. We're kind of more of a wasteful society now. I hate to say it, but it's true. So these were things that people did reuse. So we're finding a lot of these in old desk drawers now. And it's pretty cool that people have decided to collect them. And the graphics are just really fantastic. So this is Duroflex ribbon. This is a great find, Patrick. I've never seen this one. It's made in the USA. And I look on the side, as I talked about earlier, you can look to see if there's a particular maker. Sometimes they don't stamp the side of the tins. Sometimes they do. The ribbons were made separately from the tins themselves. This one probably was made, I would assume, by either the American Can Company or Decorated Metal. They made the majority of these, but this is some great graphics. So thank you so much, Patrick. I just love that. This is going to be fun. Oh, bye, TC. You have a wonderful evening. And thank you so much for tuning in. I got to get caught up on your content, TC. I'm a little bit behind. TFA is saying that he never sees typewriter ribbon tins, and he's in Canada. So that's interesting. I wonder what different markets have different things. I'll be interested to do some research on that. I don't think that I've ever bought one from overseas, except for I did buy a London one, an early tall tin from England a few years ago. So very cool. Hi, Newton's Cupboard. Thanks so much for joining. That's Michelle. Thank you. Thank you. So wonderful gifts from Patrick. Now, this also came in from Patrick, but this was a gift. And this has got the coolest graphics on it. Again, another piece for my ephemera bowl. And this is from Christina Taylor. Now, Patrick always does a great job putting little notes into who's the gift is from, and I really, really like that, Patrick. It just makes it so much easier for the recipient. So thank you so much for that. This is from Christina Taylor from the chat. She's got a YouTube channel. I think it's called Prairie Vintage Thrift, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the coolest thing. It's a vintage ink blotter for the Clarkson's Columbia Stoker Coal Company. And this is also got the Hayward Lumber Company on it. So this is just very cool. Now note the old phone number, phone 36. They don't have those old phone numbers anymore. So this has some age to it. Oh man, this is in great shape. This must have been something that was like new old stock sitting in a desk drawer. Now this is an ink blotter. So for all you guys that don't know what an ink blotter is, you fill out whatever you're going to fill out, and then this has usually you'd see them sometimes on a roller, like a handled type thing, and then you roll it over the ink, and it kind of blots the excess ink. Now, I've also seen people use these because I have a few with the marks on them where they have a quill or a fountain pen that has too much ink on the tip, and I've seen people also try to use this to wipe off the excess ink that way, but typically it's just blotted onto whatever it is that you've got that has excess ink. So this is amazing to find one in such good condition. So I really love this, Christina and Patrick. So thank you so much. Just absolutely lovely. Okay, so let's see. I think that is everything that I have. Oh, wait, nope, that's not true. I knew there was something else that was sitting over here. You guys should see my counter right now. I've got a few other things. Now, this one's also from Patrick. I knew there was something I was missing, and I didn't want to miss it. This is a sweet gift from Patrick, and he wrote another nice note. Thanks for all you do to support my channel. Patrick's little fun cards, like a little huckster guy with his swung base and suitcase. I just love it. And this is such a fun gift. Now, I don't know where Patrick found this, but I am so excited to wear it. So if you are not familiar with our new crusade, Patrick and I are on a crusade to save the trunk down elephants, because we feel like their brethren get a lot of love. The trunk up elephants, they're always sought after. People are always calling them lucky, but what is with the trunk down elephants? No one says that they're lucky, or they don't seem to care about the trunk down ones. And so we're on a crusade to save the trunk down elephants and help them, make them feel loved and special. So this is pretty cool. So this is a trunk down elephant brooch. So thumbs up for trunk down. And I think it's made out of an old fork. So I'm going to read the little note here. But here it is, trunk down elephant. Isn't it so fun? I just love him. I think he's made from a fork. It says here that this is made by the Laughing Frog Studio. So they make upcycled silverware, jewelry, accessories, and more. There's their little card. And let's see what it says. It has the polishing. So you need to polish your item with a polishing cloth. You can keep it in a jewelry box. So I think that this is probably made out of a silver. Yeah, I think it's a fork. Look at that. I mean, isn't that so clever? They've taken a fork and made a little elephant out of him, and he is trunk down. I absolutely love him, Patrick. He is so fun. Look, I could wear him today with all of my other brooches. So I love that. Oh my gosh. So thumbs up for trunk down. So guys, if you see a trunk down elephant, make sure you save him, give him some love. You know, they're just as special as their trunk up buddies. And Patrick also sent me this, and this is very cool. This is a punch card or a punch board, and Patrick and I did our first duo dive on this subject, and I learned so much from Patrick. I did not know what punch boards or punch cards were until Patrick started collecting them, and it really was a whole new world of exciting exploration and learning, and I was so glad that I was able to be part of that. And so this is for Coca-Cola. It says, win a 6-bottle carton of Coca-Cola, and you've got the little punches there. Now, how cool is this? I've never seen one of these. Now, I don't think that this was actually put out by the Coca-Cola company. Now, I've talked about this before in my videos, but there's a lot of items that are made with Coca-Cola's logo on them that weren't necessarily produced by Coke. So I don't think that this is something that Coke put out, but it is something that would have been done at a store and a lot of places that would have had these type of things. You know, they could have put Coke on them and offered a product basically, you know, for purchasing the card. Now, I do believe the way that Patrick mentioned that this particular one worked is you purchase this in advance, and then you wouldn't get a direct payout right away, because I think the way that he said is you had to get all of your friends to claim a name. So see how there are names on here? There's Ange, Blanche, Clara, Dorothy, Ethel, Florence, Grace, Helen, Irene, Julia, Lillian, and Mary. You have to write in the people's names on the side that correlate to that name, and then you punch out their little name, and then you would get win a 6-bottle carton of Coca-Cola. So that's pretty cool. This is a great little piece. It's manufactured by the Lion Manufacturing Company out of Chicago. So it's not one of the major companies that made a lot of these that Patrick was talking about. So that probably does make it pretty cool. So I love this, Patrick. I just think it's so neat that it's got Coca-Cola on it. I, again, don't think that this was made by the Coca-Cola company, but it was definitely something that was a great gimmick for these. So I love these. Yeah, I want Blanche. Blanche is one of my favorite characters on Golden Girls. Blanche, I just love Blanche. But my favorite Golden Girls character besides Blanche would be Dorothy. Dorothy is so snarky and so fun, and her comments are timed perfectly, and I love Dorothy. Tia Fane saying dibs on Ethel. Okay, so Tia Fane's got Ethel, Dee's got Blanche, and the names are so fun because, yes, they don't have a lot of these names anymore. So I love this, Patrick. Thank you so much for this. I'm going to go back and watch that segment of the duodives where Patrick talks about that particular piece. So that will be a fun addition to my Coca-Cola collection. I love those kinds of things that Coca-Cola didn't necessarily manufacture, but they were made around that time period in the 50s that just has the coolest Coca-Cola graphics. So awesome, Patrick. And again, thumbs up for Trunk Down. Okay, so the last couple of things I have to share in this friend mail video, and I am watching the time because I want to make sure that we can get to Jeffrey's sale, which is probably already running. So I'm sorry about that, Jeffrey. This is actually from Jeffrey, Real Nifty Vintage. He's got these new cards with the little birds of happiness and then his Jeff egg. And this was a gift from Jeffrey's sale. This was from Carrie, KCATX. And this is such a sweet gift. Now, Jeffrey's wrapped this in his Real Nifty Vintage paper, which, Jeffrey, you've got the best on-brand packaging. I mean, that is just very on-brand. And this actually was not from Jeffrey, but this was from Barb, Winking Owl Antiques, who sells on Jeffrey's sale. And this is a typewriter ribbon tin. And Carrie, KCATX, got this for me. It's one that I don't have. And look at the graphics on this, you guys. And it's got copyright on the front. I would say this is probably from the 40s, just judging by the graphics. And it's black and red. And then this is for, I can't read what that says, but it's got some really amazing graphics on it. And I want to say, if I can get this open, well, I don't know if I can get, it's coming. Okay, yep, I was going to say, I want to say this was probably made by Decorated Metal. And yes, it is. There's Decorated Metal right on the side. Fun little mark. This just has some great orange and black graphics for Halloween. And again, a great addition to my typewriter ribbon collection. So thank you so much, Carrie. I love this gift. And it's a tin that I don't have. I love the pin striping. And it seems as if someone has put some sort of tape on the front, so that's fun. I like finding typewriter ribbon tins where they've put tape on it because you can see that they actually did put some wording on here because they were actually trying to reuse this tin. So they were going to label it with something else, and I think it says Staples. Yeah, I think that says Staples. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that there. But anyway, I think it says Staples. So this is such a cool gift, Carrie. Thank you so much from Jeffrey, Barb, Winking Owl Antiques. So that is very, very fun. Bye, Melinda. Thank you so much. And then Jeffrey also included, or Barb did, I should say, this package topper here. And it says, History Through the Eyes of Children. So very fun little photograph package topper. Some great, great items inside. So thank you so much, Carrie. Hey, LJ, thanks so much for joining. Now, I've got 3 more things I want to show. Now, these things are not actually friend mail, but they're things that I got for myself. So I'm going to share that with you here because I just think that they're so awesome, and I can't wait to share them with you. The first thing is the Beach Boys Christmas album. Now, I've talked about this before, but this album has been on my want list for a long time, and it is not easy to get. This is not one that's just floating around. There are reissues of this album that are quite easy to pick up for around $20, but you don't often find the original press of this. So I was very excited to pick this up. This is on Capitol. So you've got the Capitol label on the corner. The Beach Boys Christmas. The reissue of this will have a slightly different album cover, and I want to say I get kind of mixed up with the Beach Boys catalog because there is an album that's got a little star over here. That's the reissue, and I don't remember if it's this one or if it's Surf and Safari that has that. But anyway, you can go to Discogs, that website that I've talked about, and look up the original, and then you'll find out what's the reissue. So this is high fidelity recording. So I believe this is the one. Yes, this is the one in mono. It is T164, which is the one that I wanted in mono. And this is pretty amazing. So it's got the colored Capitol label. Just fantastic. And this is pretty clean. I was impressed when I got this because I bought this as a VG copy. Well, VG copies are okay. They're not great. They sound good, but they're going to have some cracks and pops. But this to me, now I have not listened to it, so this is just me grading it with my eyes. This to me is almost VG plus Mint minus. I'd even lean on the Mint minus side. So I was really pleased about that. Because one of the things with buying records off of eBay is you don't always have people that know how to grade the records, and it's not their fault. They're just not a dealer of records. When you find someone that deals in records, they really know, okay, this is VG plus, it's Mint minus. Oh no, this is good or poor or fair. Like they can actually grade a record either by listening to it or with their eyes. And that's really a great way to buy records because for the most part, especially if you're buying from Discogs, you're guaranteed what they put on the listing, unless they're trying to cheat you, but I've never had that happen. They're always usually pretty legit. When you buy records from eBay, sometimes you find sellers that just don't know what they have. They're not really familiar with the record. And when I found this record on eBay, the interesting thing was it was listed as the repress. So they had it listed as the Japanese repress version. And the cover on the front picture, this is where it pays to look through the whole listing, was the repress cover. But then when I scrolled through the pictures, they had this cover and they had this capital label. And I thought, okay, I think that this is an original press of this album. I'm pretty certain of it. Should I take the gamble? And the guy said it was listed. He listed it kind of odd. He said it's VG, but then he said vintage record, not sure how it plays. And I was like, okay. So I didn't know what I was getting, but I thought for $12, I think I paid $12 for this. I know one of the Beach Boys I picked up recently, I paid $12 for. I thought, okay, this is just too good to be true. Well, when I got it, I was very pleased because it is an original press and it is in what I would consider VG plus or even Mint minus shape. So fantastic. Very, very happy about this. Great, great record. Yes, me too. I love the Capital Colorful Band. I agree. Hey, Beth, Carolina Sweet Treats and Pretties. So this is fantastic. So this has, of course, Little Saint Nick, one of my very, very favorite Christmas songs ever. In modern Christmas songs, I'm not talking about carols. If I'm talking about carols, I really love O Come All Ye Faithful. But I love Little Saint Nick. This has got the man with all the toys, Santa's beard, Merry Christmas Baby, Christmas Day, Frosty the Snowman, We Three Kings of Orient are, Blue Christmas, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, and Old Lang Syne. So this has some really great songs. Silver Bells and Little Saint Nick are probably two of my very favorite Christmas songs. So this is a very, very exciting score for me in the world of records. So I'm excited to have that. No, I don't have a video about grading records, but I might be doing a triptych on one coming soon. So stay tuned for a triptych on my channel on grading records, finding presses of records. We're going to kind of do a deep dive into how you identify those kinds of things. So stay tuned for that. Yes. Yeah, not an actual Beach Boy for $12, but great record. So I'm excited about that. The other two things I got were a really good bargain, and these are going along with my oil collection theme. So the first one is Coast to Coast motor oil. This has been on my bucket list for a while of things to get. This just has some amazing graphics. This is the 2-gallon can. So if you missed the Tales from the Triptych I did on motor oil cans, you can go back. But this is one of the ones I've been wanting. And it has some pretty cool graphics on it. Now, Coast to Coast was a series of stores. They were hardware stores all across the country. Now, what's interesting about them is they're called Coast to Coast, but they were primarily, I believe, if I read this correctly, they were in the Midwest. So they weren't somewhere. They were somewhere they were not. And that was kind of deceiving about their name because they were technically supposed to be everywhere, but they weren't. And at some stage, they had to close down. So this is Coast to Coast motor oil. So this company is no longer around. So it's got some really, really good graphics. And I got it at a great price because of its condition. And I don't think the seller really knew what they had because the seller said, that this is just a rusty old can. That's really the best way that I've found some of these, and I've gotten lucky to get them at good prices, is just finding things like rusty old can or old oil can. Like, they don't know what the values of some of these are. And as you discovered in my video that I did, a lot of these can be worth some money depending on the company, the graphics, the rarity, all of that kind of thing. So I was very excited to get this Coast to Coast can because it's one that doesn't come up for sale a whole lot. So this was very exciting for me, this Coast to Coast. And let me grab the other one. It's on the other side if I can reach it. Oh, big stretch. Here we go. This is the Sinclair Dino. And yes, I've been wanting this one for a long time. And I got lucky and it came up for sale. Now, there are two versions of the Sinclair. And this one does not have just the plain front. This one actually has the Dino. This one is not as early as some of the other ones, but you'll notice it has the old Sinclair logo. So this is Sinclair oil, and you'll see that it's got the circle with the stripes. And I showed this on my video, but the early style of oil cans are called rocker cans. And the early rocker cans of Sinclair actually have this logo. So this one's got the Dino, and it's got the emerald oil with the V. But this one has not the plain graphics on the front. And it also has this logo. So this, as far as the Dino cans go, this one is the older Dino can compared to the newer Dino can that does not have this logo, and it has a zip code on the bottom. So I've talked about zip codes a lot, but I love that zip code trick because zip codes were not introduced, 5-digit ones, until 1963. 2-digit zip codes were introduced in 1948 for large cities, so think like LA and New York. So this is a pretty cool find, so I'm excited. The Beach Boys put that in their little deuce coupe. Yes, they did. That's right, Bob. And welcome to you, Bob. I'm so glad you're here. So this was a fun find. This is the Sinclair Dino. I just love the Dino. I don't know. There's something about the Sinclair Dino that's so fun. So it's a great 10 and pretty good graphics. Love that green color. I just love these. I can't help myself. They're so fun. So, yeah, and Mickey's saying she's always looking at 10s now. Yeah, you'd be surprised. You know, I've talked about that too, but you'd be surprised. Some of the typewriter ribbon 10s, not all, and not all oil cans either, are suddenly going to be worth hundreds of dollars. But some of them are because they're not common, you know, because these were things that people, you can't really reuse oil cans, right? So they just threw them away. Oil cans more so than the typewriter ribbon 10s, but they were thrown away. So now some of the collectors are trying to find ones that are just hard to find because they were in a landfill somewhere. So when you find these, they can be special. So you want to look them up and just see what you have. You never know. And graphics are important on the 10s. And as I mentioned with this one, you can kind of look at the different styles of 10s to help you date them. And the way I knew this was older was because it had this Sinclair oil logo, and it did not have the zip code, and the graphics were slightly different than the other one. So this is pretty cool. Now, the Sinclair Dino, if I remember correctly, was around in the 40s. I think he was introduced in 1943, if I remember correctly, but he didn't really show up on 10s until I think much later. Of course, they had the big Dino World at the World's Fair with the massive Sinclair Dino. And I actually have a 1963 New York World's Fair book with the exhibit information for the Sinclair Dino, which is pretty cool. So very exciting about that. I can't wait to add that to my collection. So I think that's everything that I have to show. I'm looking around to double check because inevitably I do one of these friend mail videos and I get off the live and I'm like, darn it, there was one more other thing I wanted to show, but I think I got it all. Thank you so much. This has been a long video, but so many wonderful things to open from so many wonderful friends in the community. I cannot thank you all enough. Again, you never have to send me anything, but if you do, I'm always so appreciative of it. So thank you guys so much. I really, really hope that you all have a wonderful weekend, a great Friday. Again, stay tuned to my Instagram for some fun spins over the weekend of some vinyl, just to hear a little snippet and give you some fun dance and music. And of course, there are lots going on this weekend in the vintage and vinyl community. Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show will be on Saturday night at 10 p.m. Bob is in the chat here. He's saying that he went to that World's Fair, so very, very cool. And then on Sunday, don't forget to tune on over to Patrick's channel, Trusty Huckster Mercantile, for the Rookwood Pottery Tales from the Triptych. And Patrick will be telling his tale on Rookwood, so I'm very excited. And so will Nate from the chats, and myself will be along for the ride. So very, very fun. So I'm excited about that. All right, folks, that is it. So remember, again, Tales from the Triptych. That will be Patrick, Nate, and we will be there for Tales of the Triptych. Very exciting about that. And I'm so excited about that. So 8 p.m., Patrick's channel. And of course, as always, folks, I hope that you guys will stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube, and have a fabulous weekend. Bye-bye.